Hey, what's happening everyone? SirJames coming at you guys with another video. In today's video, I'm here to provide you with my review for Toukiden 2. Now, it's been about 2 or 3 years since Toukiden 1 first came out, but now we have a second installment with a lot of new improvements, new storyline, new weapons, new characters, new Onis, and all kinds of different things. So one thing to kind of keep clear is what exactly is going on within the story without going into spoilers. We'll just kind of give you the beginning bits of it when you first start off, is that of course you are a Slayer. A Slayer are these basically units who are gifted into battle and are able to handle 11 different types of weapons, or in this case each Slayer is kind of sticking to one specific type, but you do have 11 different weapons to choose from since they've added 2 new ones into the game. And pretty much the beginning phases is that this village is under attack and you are basically there to help defend against this threat. Next thing you know, you are facing pretty much a mini boss, but this creature ends up disappearing and this massive creature from in the clouds starts to appear and basically sucks you in through some vortex. Next thing you know, you wake up in this strange village trying to figure out what the heck is going on, come to find out that for some odd reason, or you somehow transported 10 years into the future after the events of the original attack, and basically from there on you're trying to figure out why you are there, what's going on, and how can you possibly get back to your own time. And then that's basically where your story leads up to, and how or what happens next is totally up to you to figure out in your initial experience. Now, going over the game's graphics, you definitely notice some improvement compared to its original installment, but this time around, instead of things being divided into different little segments, you actually have more of an open world experience, which is something I definitely enjoy in terms of the main game changer here. Of course, the open world experience won't begin until after you travel through the time segment, after the whole introduction, I should say. But in the open world segment, you have these Onis that are basically available everywhere, all sorts of different types, bosses, and so forth that you get to discover. There's just a lot of different things to find here. Of course, also different villagers, villages, and of course numerous of different quests to take on, because quests are very important because you kind of need that material for other aspects, which I'll talk about in the gameplay section. But as far as the characters, the design elements, just everything about it, everything looked very good. The cutscenes look great. The animation, the detail, and of course the landscape look very good. So it's definitely one of a nice big game changer compared from the first one into the second installment. Now, going over the gameplay elements, the gameplay is actually very straightforward. If you've played Toukiden 1, the gameplay is more or less the same in Toukiden 2, however, there has been some improvements and changes as well. If you've never played the first installment, consider it more of a hack and slash with a little bit of strategy involved here and there. In this game, of course, you are going to be taking on many different quests of all kinds of different types. It could be a joint operation, or it could be just kind of something you do on your own. It could be as simple as finding ingredients for villagers, or to the point where you have to go and take on a much more powerful demon. And as you progress within the storyline and kind of do different things and kill Oni, you're actually going to gather ingredients, which of course you could take over to the blacksmith and you could actually create your own weapons from what they have there. Armor, of course, if you like the stuff that you have, you could always increase it and make it better as time goes on. Now, of course, there's also a little bit more of a story involved between outsiders and insiders, which I am not going to dive into because, again, that's going to lead to some major spoilers there. But again, it's more of a hack and slash title, and what's cool is that you have this new piece of gear called the Demon Hand. Your hand is technically not transformed into a demon, but the gadget kind of does that for you. What's nice about it is that in the beginning phases of it, it's actually kind of useful because you kind of get, you could use it to grab enemies and kind of pull you towards them, so it's kind of helps you gap the distance between them, or you could also use it to get the higher ledges. But as time goes on and your character improves over time and you progress into the storyline, you're actually going to get new elements added to it, to the point where you have stuff added to defense, and of course the special heroes that are trapped inside you, you could also use them to your advantage as well. So again, there's just a variety of different things to do, and it's just something that you're going to invest a lot of time and effort. Now, going over the sound portion of the game, and there's really not much to state here. First off, the soundtrack, of course, is amazing. I'm always a big fan of video game soundtracks, and I really got to enjoy this one. Even at times, I just kind of left it on the main menu and to enjoy that as I get other work done. So it's always nice to listen to. As far as the character sound, the audio is going to be in its original Japanese dub. So one thing I did kind of notice is that sometimes the characters will be talking and you can hear the Japanese dub, but other times you're just going to be reading text. It kind of goes back and forth quite often. Sometimes it can be a little bit of annoyance. It's not really constant, But then again, the soundtrack and the character voices sounded really good, and even during the character selection screen when you actually kind of get to create your own custom character, you have a few different audio sounds that you get to choose from, and which in this case sometimes the characters will talk, but there won't be any like subtitles on screen, and there's no options that I could see within the menus to kind of fix that. But other than that, again, the audio was pretty good. Now, going over the game's lifespan, there's just so much to do here. You're actually going to invest many hours into it. One, you have so many different quests to do, and a lot of quests could also end up being important because maybe the rewards for that quest could be used with materials that you need to create a certain piece of armor, upgrade a piece, or create a specific weapon. So again, all these quests are important at one point or another. The other thing that you also have that you can do is that you have the character customization and creation at the very start of the game. You have 11 different weapons to choose from since they've added 2 new ones, so you have all kinds of different weapons to try out to see what fits your personal playstyle. On top of that, there's also a 4-player cooperative play, and what I love about this is that it's also cross-platform. So meaning that if you have a PS4 copy and your friend has the PlayStation Vita copy, you and your friend could still play cooperatively on the same game, which is pretty cool, even though you're on 2 different systems. One's on a console, one's on a handheld. So again, you do have a cooperative experience that you can enjoy with your friends, even if you're on different platforms. But like I said here, you have a variety of different weapons to try out. You have online multiplayer, tremendous amount of quests, customizations, and upgrades. Again, this is what you're going to be investing most of your time into, and one that I don't see you dropping anytime soon, maybe in a couple months. Now, in the end, I feel as though Toukiden 2 is pretty much a nice improvement compared to Toukiden 1. If you've never played the first one, then it's definitely a great time to jump into the second one. If you love the first one, you're definitely going to love the second one even more. But overall, in the end, I'm actually going to give this game a 9 out of 10. It was fun to have. The only thing that I really wish that would have changed is to maybe allow those who bought the game digitally to have it between both the PS4 and the Vita, instead of having to have people buy 2 copies. But then again, that's all about personal choice. But again, a 9 out of 10 is what my official score is going to be. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But until then, I am SirJames on Gamerfuzion.com, where we empower your gaming.